Aloha, everybody. I'm Miss Brooks. Can you say aloha? Very good. So, does anyone know what the word aloha means? Does anybody have a guess? Let's call on you. Do you know what it means? Yes, aloha means hello or welcome. It's just a greeting. So, welcome to my beach. And this week we're going to be doing lots of fun activities here at the beach. The beach is one of my favorite places to go during the summer, and I think it is the perfect way to kick off summer. So I'm going to be reading you a book on the beach. See, this is one of my favorite activities that I love to do while I am laying out in the sand. I love to read. So I'm going to read you one of my favorite summer books. And this book is called Diary of a Worm. Once we complete this reading, we're going to do a really fun activity that I promise you're going to love. So we got to get through this book first, and we got to answer some questions, and then we will get to that fun activity. Okay, so before we begin reading this book, I want to ask you, does anybody know what a diary is? Or do you have one? Or does your sibling have one? Let's see. You do? What is a diary? Yes. So a diary is like a book that we write in to keep up with our thoughts and feelings. So some people might write in their diary daily. However, you do not have to do that if you have a diary. You can write in a few days, if you can go back to it in a few weeks or even a few months. But it's just a book that you can keep your thoughts and ideas and events that have occurred to you. And that's something that you can look back on later if you want to remember that type of thing. So, we're going to read Diary of a Worm. And the author is Doreen Crowan. And the pictures are by Harry Bliss. Does anybody know what the name of the person who draws the pictures? What is that person called? Let's call on you. Do you know what it's called? Yes, it's called the illustrator. The illustrator is the person who draws the pictures. And of course, the author is the person who writes the text or the words in a story. So we're going to get started with this Diary of a Worm. Okay. March 20th. Mom says there are 3 things I should always remember. Number 1, the earth gives us everything we need. There's a picture of worm. Number 2, when we dig tunnels, we help take care of the earth. Number 3, never bother Daddy when he's eating the newspaper. Okay, so if you look up here, there's a little bubble, so that's his thoughts, and it says, must make tunnel, help earth breathe. Okay, and then the other one is the word chomp, and can you just imagine chomping on something while you're eating? March 29th. Today I tried to teach Spider how to dig. Again, there's one of those bubbles, and the spider has a question mark. So I wonder why he has a question mark. Does anybody have any ideas why that might be? Yes, it looks like he's confused. The worm is just digging into the dirt, and the spider doesn't know how, so he has that question mark because he's like, what are you doing? First of all, his legs got stuck. Then he swallowed a bunch of dirt. Tomorrow, he's going to teach me how to walk upside down. And there's some more bubbles. I think I've twisted one of my ankles. And the other says, I give up. So, Worm's frustrated because Spider cannot do that. He's just not able to dig the dirt. And then the spider twisted his ankles. How many ankles do you think he has? Anybody? Yes. He has 8 because he has 8 legs. Very good. March 30th. Worms cannot walk upside down. So you can see the picture that spider's having to save worm because worm doesn't have any legs or arms to walk. April 4th. Fishing season started today. We all dug deeper. And there's a little bubble. Do you guys hear something? So they're trying to avoid the shovel because they don't want to be fish bait. April 10th. It rained all night and the ground was soaked. We spent the entire day on the sidewalk. Hopscotch is a very dangerous sport. So has anybody ever seen worms on the sidewalk after it's rained really hard before? Okay, you have. Do you know why? Why is that? Okay, let me help you out here. The reason why the worms come up and they're on the sidewalk is because the ground, the dirt, can only take in so much water. And after it takes in all that water, it can't take anymore. So everything comes out of the dirt because there's just too much water and the dirt can't hold it. April 15th. I forgot my lunch today. I got so hungry that I ate my homework. My teacher made me write, I will not eat my homework 10 times. When I was finished, I ate that too. Ooh. So Worm was punished and he ended up eating his punishment too. Do you think his teacher was happy with him? I don't think so either. April 20th. I snuck up on some kids in the park today. They didn't hear me coming. I wiggled right up between them and they screamed. I love when they do that. So the worm tried to scare these little girls and they were scared. I'm gonna be honest, if I see a worm, I'm gonna say, ew, gross, and try to get away from it. So I totally understand why those little girls were doing that. May 1st. Grandpa taught us that good manners are very important. So today I said good morning to the first ant I saw. Good morning. There were 600 more of them in line. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing? Good morning. Nice to see you. Howdy. Good morning. I stood there all day. Can you imagine having to talk to 600 ants? I would be tired, wouldn't you? May 8th. Had the worst nightmare last night. Giant birds playing hopscotch. Mom says I have to stop eating so much garbage right before I go to bed. Ooh, I don't like when I have nightmares. Do any of you like when you have nightmares? No, it's not fun, is it? May 15th. I got into a fight with Spider today. He told me you need legs to be cool. Then he ran. I couldn't keep up. Maybe he's right. May 16th. I made Spider laugh so hard he fell out of his tree. Who needs legs? So Worm's saying that he can be cool even though he doesn't have legs because he was able to make Spider laugh. So that was something that he liked to do. May 28th. Last night I went to the school dance. You put your head in, you put your head out. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself about. That's all we could do. Does anybody understand why they couldn't do anything else? Do you know why? Yes, it's because they don't have any arms or legs. June 5th. Today we made macaroni necklaces in art class. I brought mine home and we ate it for dinner. And then his dad said, "You're very talented." June 15th. My older sister thinks she's so pretty. I told her that no matter how much time she spends looking in the mirror, her face will always look just like her rear end. Can you believe he said that to his sibling? Raise your hand if you've ever said something mean to your sibling. Yes, all of you have. I know for sure. At least once in your life, right? Myself included. Spider thought that was really funny. Mom did not. Now, have you ever gotten in trouble from your mom or dad whenever you did something mean to your sibling? I'm guilty too. July 4th. When I grow up, I want to be a Secret Service agent. Spider says I will have to be very careful because the president might step on me by mistake. It's a dangerous job, I told him, but somebody's got to do it. So that's what he wants to be when he grows up. July 28th. 3 things I don't like about being a worm. I can't chew gum. Number 2, I can't have a dog. And number 3, all that homework. And then look, there's a catch. Can we keep him, Mom? I don't think the worm's gonna be able to keep the dog because the dog is probably 20 times bigger, right? So you can't have a pet that's bigger than you that you know you can't take care of. July 29th. 3 good things about being a worm. I never have to go to the dentist. No cavities, no teeth either. Number 2, I never get in trouble for tracking mud through the house. And number 3, I never have to take a bath. Who's my grubby little boy? So he's really excited that he doesn't ever have to take a bath because where he lives, it's always dirty. August 1st. It's not always easy being a worm. We're very small and sometimes people forget that we're even here. But like Mom always says, the earth never forgets we're here. And that's the end of Diary of a Worm. So, I really enjoy reading this book, especially during the summertime because we see a lot of worms during the summer. So as I promised you, we're going to do a really fun activity that involves, guess what? Who has any guesses? Let's call you in the back. Do you have a guess? You're right, it's about worms. So, in just a second, we're going to learn how to read a recipe and see why it's important to read a recipe. And in the end, we're going to use gummy worms. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so today we're going to learn how to read a recipe. Does anybody have any clue why it's important to know how to read a recipe? Does anybody? No, nobody knows? Okay. Well, the reason why we have to learn how to read a recipe is if we don't follow the recipe correctly, it's not going to turn out right. So when we think about reading a recipe, we don't only look at directions, but we also have to look at ingredients. So as promised, I told you we would do a fun activity with worms. So today we're going to be making dirt pudding. I know, it's going to be so much fun, right? Okay, so everybody should have this by your side, okay? Does everybody have it where you're sitting? Okay, great. So I'm going to explain to you how to read a recipe, and then I'm going to see who's paying attention because I'm getting ready to make it, and you have to follow along with me and make sure that I'm doing it correctly because you know what? Sometimes even adults make mistakes, okay? So again, we're going to make dirt pudding. So one of the most important parts about learning to read a recipe is, first of all, looking at the ingredients, okay? If you don't have all of your ingredients, it's not going to turn out the right way. You can get by with it sometimes, but the majority of the time, if you don't have all of the ingredients, it's not going to work out anyways. So we're going to read our ingredients, and I'm going to read the top 2. It says, dirt pudding is fun and easy to make. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to make this. Yeah, all right. Okay, so our ingredients. It says we need a ½ cup of chocolate pudding, a tablespoon of whipped topping, 2 spoonfuls of cookie crumbs, and 2 or 3 gummy worms. Okay, so that's our ingredients. So let's go over them one more time. We have to have chocolate pudding. Does everybody have chocolate pudding? Okay, awesome. What about whipped topping. Now I put yours in a little bowl just to help you out. Okay, good. And let's see, we have to have cookie crumbs. Everybody should have a bowl of these. Well, not a bowl of these, I'm sorry. You have a baggie of these first. But you have a bowl right beside you. Okay, and gummy worms. Everybody has their gummy worms. I'm so excited because I love gummy worms so much. Okay, so that's our ingredients. Now we have to learn how to read the directions. Okay, and we go step by step. So we have to go in order. Okay, step number 1 says put a half a cup of the pudding into the cup. So this is the cups we are all going to be using today. Add the whipped topping and stir. Sprinkle the top with the cookie crumbs and gently stir again. Okay, the 4th part of the direction says add some more cookie crumbs and gummy worms at the top. And the 5th step, it says enjoy eating your dirt pudding. So we are going to just do this. We're going to make this dirt pudding. You all are going to be making it with me. And if Miss Brooks makes a mistake, which I could, I want you all to help me out and say, no, this is what you're supposed to do, okay? Give me a thumbs up if everyone's ready to go. Awesome. Let's get started. Okay, so it says the first thing you have to do is what? Somebody raise your hand and tell me, what is the first step into making this dirt pudding? Let's call on you. What's the first step? We have to put half of this into a cup. You're right. So everybody grab your pudding, and we're going to put half of it in the cup, okay? So you do it with your spoon, and I'll do the same thing, okay? So I'm just keep on doing it, and if it gets messy, that's okay. We'll take care of that later. I've got about half of it. All right. So that should do. So we have about half a cup of our pudding. And I'm gonna even like jiggle this out so it's more even. Everybody can do that as well. All right, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on to step number 2. Good deal. All right. What is my second step to making this dirt pudding? Does anybody know? You can look at your cheat sheet if you need to. All right, let's call on you this time. Yes, I have to add my whipped topping. And this is a tablespoon. So Miss Brooks already has that measured out for you. But if you're at home and you're going to do this with your family, which I think would be an awesome idea, you're going to look for the tablespoon. And a lot of times it is abbreviated, so it's not going to come out and say tablespoon. In my case, mine does, but a lot of them do not. So when you are at home, you need to look for the TB, tablespoon, okay? So everybody's going to put their whipped topping in now. And I'm going to do the same. And I think I'm going to, oh, nope, it came perfectly. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to take my spoon. It says to gently stir it in. So that's what I am doing. And look, it's already starting to look like dirt, because if you look at dirt, it has different layers and it's different colors. So how awesome is that? Okay. Does anybody know what the next step is? Anybody? Use your cheat sheet if you need to. Let's call on you. Yes, we're going to add the cookie crumbs. And although mine are already prepared, I'm going to show you how I did this. Okay? So, I have all of your cookies in a little sandwich baggie, and we're going to crush them together. And this is so much fun. You could use the blender for this, but I think it's just a lot more fun to just crumble them up. So we're all going to do that. Ready? So just start crumbling them. Okay? And go as hard and fast if you want it to, or you can go slow and do it, but I think it's just so much fun, and you just do it as much as you want, okay? Now, you're not going to get them completely fine, the little crumbs, and that's okay, because in the ground, dirt is not always thin and fine, okay? There's rocks and many other things that go in the dirt, so that's okay. Okay? So once you have completed this, you can start to put them in your cup. So what's the directions though? How many spoonfuls are we supposed to put? Does anybody know? Yes, it says 2, but since we have to add more in a little bit, we're gonna just add 1 right now. So everybody take a big spoonful, okay? And put it in your dirt. And sometimes it falls, and that's completely okay. So it says to gently stir it again. So everybody do that at where you're sitting as well. Okay. It's looking so yummy. Okay, who can read me the 4th step in the directions? Yes, we're going to add more cookie crumbs. That's why I said don't add them all, because you want to add some again. So we're all going to take another big spoonful. And I have a little bit extra, so I'm just going to add a little bit more than that. And what are we supposed to do after that? Does anybody remember? It's the best part. Yes, we have to add our gummy worms. And how many gummy worms does it say we need to add? 2 or 3. So in each of your containers, I put 2 or 3 for each of you because I didn't know how many you would like. So I'm going to go with 3 because I love gummy worms. And they are so yummy. Okay? And look, we're finished. It says step 5, enjoy eating your dirt pudding, but guess what? We're going to add something different to ours. We are at the beach, right? And we do want it to be somewhat tropical. So we're going to add an umbrella to ours. So everybody's going to get your umbrellas out. You have to unravel the little rubber band, and then you just lift it like this, and it comes out. So everybody do that. And put it in your dirt pudding cup. So now it's like a tropical dirt pudding cup. So ready? We're all gonna take a bite together. Okay, so get a big spoonful. Ready? When I say 3, we'll all eat it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That is so good. I absolutely love that. It's one of my favorite snacks in the summer. Okay, so again, let's review why it's important to know how to read a recipe. Can someone tell me why we need to know how to read a recipe? Let's call on you. Let's see if you know it. Yes, exactly. So if we don't learn how to read a recipe, our recipe is not going to turn out right. Sometimes you're able to pull it off, but most of the time, if you don't follow it step by step with the directions, something is going to turn out wrong, and it's not going to be near as yummy. So next time you are in the kitchen with your mom, dad, grandparents, or an aunt or uncle, you can ask maybe to help, because you're going to say that you have now learned how to read a recipe, right? Does everybody know how? Yes, we have to what? Go through it again. We have to know the what? Ingredients. And then after we have all of our ingredients, we have to follow the what? And I always say this. Directions, exactly. So that's all we're going to be doing for this video. I'm looking forward to our next video and our next activity. I'll see you at the beach. Bye.